What is this, number 73? I think. Yeah,
73.
Photoshop
Right
is
up there, yeah.
number 73. We're getting close to 100. We have to figure out when the 100th show is. Probably right after the first of the year or something like that. But welcome, everybody, to yet another exciting edition of the most spectacular photo share and discussion held in the United States on Sunday evenings. So, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. We got Frank in beautiful California. Hello, Frank.
Hey,
Hey,
happy to
we
be
got
here.
yeah, and Rui in Portugal
Yep.
joining us, two of our regulars. And for those of you that are into beer, I'm drinking a fine Pabst Blue Ribbon. It goes perfect with photo shares and discussions. Um, but welcome everybody. We've got a fair amount of images in the group. Uh, I posted a few. We had a couple other people that haven't posted in a while posted some, and then we got to talk about, and it's give the credit to Frank because he kind of prompted me on it. There was a couple weeks ago we were talking about an image of Wesley's, I think, and um, we made some suggestions, and he came back and redid it, and came up with a little bit different version of the same image just by, I think he did some cropping and put
The one with the three flowers.
yeah, yeah,
Right.
the one, yeah, with the water lilies, and he improved that, and he kind of liked took some of the suggestions that we made and played around with it and came up with the result that he liked. So, um, and then Frank sent me a message over the week about doing something like that, maybe adding a segment to the broadcast for any images that we want to maybe have other people work on and make some suggestions. Maybe we can come up with a way of setting that up. And I don't know, do you have any ideas on that? One of the things I was thinking about, Frank, was the where's the best place to store those images? And I don't know if it makes sense to have a way for people that want to have an image uh, edited. Maybe I'll call it Pimp My Photo. I don't know. What do you think? Uh,
Yeah.
but maybe there's a way, to kind of tie it together. If there's a way we can upload the raw file, and then have people download it. It seems like, I mean, you're using Lightroom or Photoshop. You probably are, Rui. I mean, most people are, so they have the capability of um, editing a raw file,
Hmm.
and most of those tools can accept raw files from just about any digital camera nowadays.
Mhm.
You know,
It's,
Yep.
optimally, I think you're right. It would be great if we had the raw file to work with. Um, but with Wesley's image, I think I probably could tweak it
hmm
uh, to what we all have our own separate visions. So the way you would have done it would be different from what I would have done it. But there's not necessarily one right answer. But I think we probably could have done something to that image using a JPEG without having to worry about a high-res image.
yeah,
But yeah, I completely agree with you. Having the DNG file is really the way to go. Maybe getting a Dropbox account or something. Or
yeah. That might. That's what I was thinking about. Is I mean, I've got Dropbox. I don't know if you do, Frank, or whatever,
no,
but
I don't.
I can set up a folder in my Dropbox and then just share that with whoever. So you would need if we wanted to do like a raw, an actual raw file, we would have to do it through like Dropbox, or if there's some other service. I mean, you can upload full-size files to Google Plus, but then it comes back down as JPEG, I think.
Yeah, but since this is Hangouts through Google, you can use Google Drive and do the same as Dropbox.
Oh, that's true. Yes.
You can just log into your Gmail account
Yeah, and I
and
can just
use
share a
Google
folder.
Drive.
Yeah,
Yep.
we can just share a folder, and that might be the way to do it. I mean, since we're doing, that's a great
And you
idea,
can
Roy.
use the group account if you have one. I guess you
Mm-hmm.
do. So
I
group would
I mean,
store
Mark's
and we would store
uh,
the raw file to the group account. Just use one account.
yeah, and I don't know if Mark's photography spot, because I set it up as a page, and I don't know if it has its own. Um, I'll have to take a look and see, but maybe that's something. If not, um, we can use. I can just set up a folder on my own personal Google Drive account,
Hmm.
and it's not that hard. And then we'll just delete the images. I can just go and clean up the images so it doesn't build up too much.
Yeah, from week to week. Yeah.
Yeah, every couple of weeks, just clean up the images. There's tons of space. You can upload a crap load of raw files, more than we would ever need. And then we could, if you wanted to do it that way, you could download the raw file, do whatever you wanted, and then just send it up to Flickr as post it to the group with a tag or something.
Hmm.
That might be
Yeah.
the way to do it. Okay, well, let's think about doing that. I'll see if I can get Google Drive added to the Merck's photography spot. If not, I'll set up a folder in my own Google Drive, because I use it, but I don't use near what the capacity is. Google Drive, most of it just little spreadsheets and stuff I put together. So there's probably plenty of capacity. And then I guess I just send an invite out to everybody to share it, that I want to share it with, I believe. Is that how that would work?
I have never used it, but it sounds about right.
Guess so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll play around with that. That might be the way to do it, and then we can come up with a tag and upload it to the Flickr group, and do it that way. That way, we can dump it in, do whatever we want, generate our own file, and export it, and do it. Because a few years ago that might have been an issue, but I think right now Lightroom or Photoshop, every raw file format is they accept it now, so it's just a matter of opening it up. It's got built-in converters, and we should be good to go. So maybe that's the way to do it. I'll go ahead and see if I'll work on it a little bit here this week. Maybe get you guys invited to it. Maybe we'll try a sample image or something like that, and see how it works. But
Sure.
I think that would be it's a really great idea, Frank. I think that's be a great way to kind of expand the scope of the show a little bit, rather than just talking about photos. Maybe if there's something that you've been working on that you want to get some more insight on, or see how other people would do it. That way people can play around with it as much as they want, or not. There's obviously no requirement. And then upload it, and then if you're the photographer, see different versions, you might come up with some ideas based on those different versions that you can integrate into a final version for yourself. I think that's a really, really good way to do it. So I don't know what we'll call it. Maybe, I don't know, Pimp My Photo is kind of the first thing that came to mind, but I think it's probably not the best thing to do. What the heck? Pimp My Photo, or help me with my image. We'll come up with something like that. But and do that. And then the other thing that kind of came up with would be either some kind of maybe theme images. Maybe we do once a month or something like that, come up with some kind of theme for images. And then you suggested, Frank, the like a photo scavenger hunt type thing.
Yeah.
And you sent something I hadn't. Was that the link, or the stuff you sent in the message, was that just a group that put one together? Is that what you sent? Because I wasn't familiar with who you referenced there.
Well, Krista Ray, she started off with humble beginnings, and now has well over a million followers.
Oh, okay.
Based on her amazing idea of a photo scavenger hunt. And it's extremely popular, and it just generates a lot of creativity to be shared.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great. It ended up being just an amazing idea for her.
So she came up with like an online photo scavenger hunt, basically.
Right. It's limited to 500 people.
Okay.
So you've got, I don't know how the voting gets in, or how you manage to get selected, or how all that works, but it is quite a lot of work on her end. Someone's got to go through all of those submitted images and come up with the best of the best, and eventually a winner.
Yeah, yeah. So you have
grade
to have
everything.
some
It's a
kind of
lot of work to go in.
committee or something like that. Yeah, and that might be a fun thing to do. Maybe just something like that, and then maybe do that. I don't know, once or twice a year, maybe around a specific theme, or we can just come up with general themes too. You know, like for the month of December, the theme is, I don't know, whatever, and
Right.
then and we just submit it to the group with that particular tag, I guess, and we can do it that way. Um, that's who does. Either you guys listen to any of the Leo Laporte things, the Twit? This week,
I used to.
yeah, he does a thing on This Week in Tech with Chris Marquardt, the guy that does Tips from the Top Floor, the uh, photographer podcast. He lives in Germany, I think, but he does a segment with Leo every week where they have a theme, and they people submit photos with that theme to their Flickr group, and then it's like once a month or something. He goes through and kind of calls out which ones he likes or which ones seem to be the best representation of whatever the theme is. So that might be
Once a month sounds like a good time frame. It gives people plenty of time to come up with ideas and to work through it, come up with a finalized image, and plenty of time for other people to review all the work that's been submitted.
Yeah, I think it is, and I wish I could do once a week. It'd be great, but I just don't get out and shoot that much. I wish I could.
Yeah.
Once a month, in some months, might even be a stretch for me, but I could probably come up with something that would meet that theme, whatever it is. And it doesn't have to be an exact interpretation of the theme. It could be something related to the theme. I mean, I think it's just a great way to have a reason to go out with a camera. You have something that you're trying to get when you're out there, and that a lot of times is all that I know. For me, that's all I need sometimes. If I just have something in particular that I'm trying to do, that gives me a completely different incentive when I'm out with the camera, rather than just kind of out wandering around with a camera looking for something. If I have in my mind maybe 3 things I want to photograph, or 3 types of things, or a type of shot, then I'm much more focused, I guess, on what I'm doing out there. And I think the results end up being better because you've got a particular idea in mind when you go out with the camera.
And also, this potentially can put people well outside their comfort zones as far as what they shoot. I would never have shot a model if it wasn't for this, and so you have the potential for really expanding your horizon.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that might be a good idea. What do you think, Rui? Sound like fun?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, cool. We can get some more people involved in the hangout, I think, and in the group as general. If there's something out there that's maybe a little bit of a carrot to kind of keep people interested in going out with their camera and doing stuff. I know when I go out, like when I was up in Pittsburgh a few weeks ago, I went out with the camera. I wanted to get some black and white photos of buildings, so that's what specifically I was looking for those kinds of shots, and I got some good images out as a result of it. But if I just gone out and said, I'm just going to go out and hang out with my buddy and photograph without anything in mind, I probably would have gotten a few good images, but I don't think I would have been as
productive.
I wouldn't have been as productive, with the 3.5 hours that we had. I had a little bit of a purpose. It wasn't like I had to do it, but I always had it in the back of my mind. It's like, hey, keep an eye out for this type of shot. And if I can.
I guess for most people, just need a little incentive to do stuff, even though they don't have that much time. But it's not that you have to do it, but you want to.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, ultimately, photography.
Put a little bit of extra effort.
Yeah, I mean, it's ultimately about what you like to do anyway. But I think if you go out with a purpose, at least in the back of your mind, the odds are that you will probably make better photos as a result of that, rather than just going out and pressing a shutter button at everything you see. really think about what you're doing a little bit and pay attention or have some kind of goal in mind that maybe guide you a little bit as you're out, especially if you're in a new place, or maybe even if you're in a place that you've been before, maybe a familiar place. If you have a different take on things, you're trying to look for a certain thing or get a certain kind of shot, something that is very regular and usual to you might offer some new opportunities. So
yeah,
that's a good idea. So, all right, well let's think about it. Maybe all of you guys, let's come up with some ideas, some themes. We can just make a list and toss them out there. Maybe we can narrow down and come up with one for the month of October. That's week after next. So let's come up with some ideas. It can be seasonal theme. It can be
whatever.
Whatever. Yeah, whatever. It doesn't need to be tied to anything particular. Maybe there's something you want to work on that you might be interesting for other people. Let's get a couple, and we could do a couple themes too. We could do like 2 or 3 themes at a time. What the heck? It's not like we have 500 people loading images up every week. We've got 10 or 15 people tops that use the Flickr group. So when we get to 1 million people, then we might have to narrow it down a little bit.
Different logistics.
Yeah. And then we'll have We'll have to form a committee, and then there'll have to be rules and guidelines, and everybody will have to file a whatever, like non-disclosure agreements, and we'll have to corporate cards and all that kind of stuff. And until then, I think we can handle a couple themes at a time. So let's think about that a little bit this week. I'll come up with a few. If you guys come up with a few that you might be interested in.
Sure.
We come up with something for the month of October. Maybe see how it works. Give it a month. See what happens. And then I'll work on the Dropbox thing, or not the Dropbox, but the Google Drive, and we can come up with a folder, and then upload. Maybe if we upload some images that we want to work on, we can kind of say, okay, this one we want to work on it this week. We can work on it, give our interpretations of it, pop it up, save it to the Flickr group with some tag. We'll come up with some tag, and then that way we can find them and talk about them. So, okay.
All right.
Good. We made a lot of progress here.
Yeah.
The new and improved photo sharing discussion. All right. All right. Let's go do the screen share here. We've got a few images. Go in here. There we go. We can see that. Go down to, I think this is the last one. Yeah, the last one from last week was your view of the castle with the streetcar, trolley car line. And there, nice blue sky. And then we go to, this is what you were working on right after that last week.
Yeah.
So this is I guess one of the scans that you did of, was it Velvia? Was that the film that you were using?
Either Velvia or Sensia. I just can't remember which one.
Okay.
But yeah, so this is straight out of camera. Didn't edit it. Just put the watermark.
Okay. So this was basically shoot the negative in your little light box.
Yep.
Dump it in and upload it to Flickr. Okay.
Yeah, just done the cropping.
Okay.
To get rid of the rubber bands.
Okay, yeah, on the top and bottom, I guess.
Yeah.
So this looks like some flowers in a garden or something.
Yeah, I don't even remember where I took this. But yeah, I just wanted the separation from the flower.
Okay.
On the bottom left from the rest.
Okay. All right. It looks like a string of flowers or something in there. And so you were having problems with the focus? Is that what the issue was with this, or
with the scan? Yeah.
Okay. Focus. Okay. So is it do you think the film wasn't level enough, or?
I guess because it is the positive.
Mm-hmm.
This is a slide. I can really see the image to get it focused, and some pictures did get out of focus. I guess I'll have to try that again to see if I can get a better result.
Now, you were holding the camera. What did you have it on a tripod? So you kept maintained a distance. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep. And just pushed the film from one side to the other to the next frame.
Just slid the film across the box.
Yeah.
Focus button, bang, hit and recorded it. Okay.
Yeah, there's the video on the description.
Yeah.
There's the link. So.
And you had what, like 30 images that you did on that? Was it something like that? You were working on a few. I joined in a little bit later, and you were on like image 22 or something.
It was a 36 exposure film, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Okay, there we go. Everybody else can see. Can everybody see the screen share? Can you see it now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I came up with a new button on mine that says you are screen sharing. Do you want to present it to everyone? And I clicked OK. So I don't know what. Some new feature in the Hangout, I guess. But okay, cool. Well, yeah. I mean, it looks like a. If you get the focus nailed down, looks like a pretty.
Yeah, I guess so.
Get some images.
Because in the film itself, in this image, I guess the focus was right. I can't really remember where I took it, but I guess the focus was right, and it was a problem with scanning. So I'm gonna try to get it sharper the next time I do it. So this came up, and the film was out of date, expired.
Oh, okay.
So that's why it's that blue. I mean, Frank saw a few shots of that, and most of them were very, very blue.
Okay. And that's what happens when that film kind of gets past its.
I guess it has a little blue tint. That's natural to that film, but because it's expired, I guess it's a little bit too much. But in this case, I did like the effect on the image.
Oh yeah, the blue with the red or lavender or whatever color that is it's a neat contrast.
How expired was it? Months, years?
Years, a year at least.
Okay. Yeah.
And was the film in the refrigerator, or was it just sitting out on the outside?
Actually, inside the camera case.
Okay. In the camera. Okay. Because I know, was that a couple years ago when they stopped making Kodachrome?
Right.
People that were buying up all the Kodachrome and just storing it, buying chest freezers and buying as much Kodachrome as they could and freezing it. So there's tens of thousands. The problem is nobody can process it anymore. Isn't there just one place in Kansas? No, they stopped. There was a lab in Kansas that was developing Kodachrome, and they stopped. So I don't know how those people are going to get their film developed. Even
they may not.
Yeah, they might just have a bunch of film in their freezer. So
right. Yeah, I don't think Kodachrome is something you can kind of jury-rig some sort of alternate developing chemistry.
That was a pretty unique chemistry and
very extraordinary. It was extraordinarily complex.
Yeah.
E6 is a walk in the park compared to Kodachrome.
Yeah.
Or K12.
Yeah. Which is so people got hundreds of rolls of film that they could shoot, but I don't know how they. Well, I guess they could. I don't know. They process it however they want to process it and see what happens. I guess. But yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, that's a neat. Looks like it. If you get the focus nailed, really, that the scanning will be pretty good.
Was that out of focus? Was that in the slide, or is that as a result of you doing the?
No, the result from the scan, taking the picture from the film of the film.
Okay. Yeah, when I had tried it, I actually shot my lens or closed my lens down to around f/22. and I was hoping the depth of field would be enough to prevent that from happening.
This was at 5.6, I guess.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, maybe that might be a matter of just bumping it up to 11 or 16 or something like that.
Probably try that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you need to get something that'll hold it flat, because what I was noticing is that film is going to cup like this when it's going to bend. So what I ended up doing was using these. This is a slide holder for 6x7 format, and it's got plastic in here that will hold whatever I put in here flat. Yep. So it's not necessarily optically perfect, but it's definitely holding it flat. And I'm sure there's a variety of ways doing this. Maybe with some plexiglass with a hole cut out just big enough for your slide, and just sandwich them together. That might work.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a challenge. I mean, I use a flatbed scanner, and here is this is my last roll of medium, black and white film out of the roll cord, and I bought this this digital Lisa, which is and it does a pretty good job. It keeps the film pretty flat.
Oh, there you go.
Side to side and top to bottom, and I get good quality scans out of it. But this is a specialized template basically for it, and seems to work pretty well. But yeah, from everything I was reading before I started scanning, it was got to keep that film as flat as possible and keep the distance. I mean, even like a tenth of a millimeter or whatever, some very small can make a huge difference in the quality that you get. Yeah, so it's a
Isn't
challenge.
That from Lomo?
Yes, that one is from Lomo. Yeah.
Okay.
And they have a 35 millimeter version too. Let me get that. Just show you how it works, kind of. It's got a little. I've got to leave the film in there, but it's got this metal plate that you sit down on the ground and you put the template on top of it, and then you load the film on in that template, and it's got little holds in there, and then you've got this top plate, and you see these little holes in the corner. That kind of fits into that, and when it's sitting here on the metal, it's magnetic, so it flattens it out, and then you basically close it down, seal it, that hinge, seal it down, and then you remove this, and then the idea is that it keeps the film flat at that point, and it works pretty well.
Nice.
You still have to. You can't take a roll of film, right after you get done drying it and drop it in. Or I still put them in the archive sheets and press them between books for a day, just to flatten them out as much as possible. But it works pretty good. Every once in a while, if the film's really curly, it's a little bit of a challenge. But if I press it down for a day or two and then scan using the template, it works out pretty well. But that's the a curvature in film is the enemy when you're scanning.
Definitely.
Definitely, that is for sure. So yeah, cool. Looks like a new process. Here is a sign of the day. I love this. Library parking only. Violators will be held in low esteem.
Low esteem.
In 5 pics, he's posted a few images. It's been a while since he's posted though, but he does. I think he does. He lives in L.A., I believe, and he likes cars and that type of stuff, and he comes up with some interesting images. So yeah, it's just one of those great ironic signs, or not ironic, but just kind of a funny sign.
Funny warning, yeah.
Yes, violators will be held in low esteem. So cool. Cool, and this is the Piqua, Ohio. How cool of them, yes. There's a neat, fun little sign to shoot. Now here is, this could be described as classic car abuse, I think. Because it's an image of this very rare car painted as, I can't imagine that's the original pink, but it's a nice car, very nice car, and they've got it parked near the cart corral, which is just a recipe for disaster as far as, and it looks like it's maybe at a Walmart, so people are going to be pushing carts all over the place. So I don't know what that person was thinking. But you got the car near the car corral. But that's a cool car. That is I don't know what year that is, maybe a 67, 68, something like that.
It's probably a chick.
Oh, yeah, I would hope so.
Yeah.
Pink.
I hope so, yeah.
Ohio. Pink B is the...
Pink B.
Yeah. The nice car. Very nice car. Nice probably, is that 383 or is that the 440? I don't remember. But yeah, it's nice. Looks like it's in very good shape.
Mm-hmm.
And just another one of those, somebody with a car like that parking right next to, in the spot of the parking lot where most car dings are going to happen. I don't have a classic muscle car, and I still don't park near the cart corral. It just, because people be pushing it along and they'll just let the cart go and hope that it goes into the cart corral, and then sometimes it doesn't. And I don't need to submit my car to that kind of damage, so I never park near the cart corral. But that's a great image of a very pink classic car.
Yeah, great car.
Yeah, very fun.
Used to be until they painted it pink.
Yeah. And here is a detail shot, I guess, of a turbine. Yeah, engine turbine. Close-up fan blades inside the back of a jet engine. I love the abstract lines. If only razor blades were that sharp and did not cost $28.95. Yeah. Lamenting the high cost of blades, I guess. But yeah, this looks like the turbine blades at the back of the engine.
Mm-hmm.
He's shooting. It must be from the bottom. This must be he's shooting from underneath, maybe. It's a very blue. I don't know if he did any color adjustment or anything, or maybe it was just I came across. But it's got that kind of cold metal kind of feel to it.
Right. And those highlights really pop, so I'm thinking he probably adjusted them a little bit.
Yeah. And right on the edges. Yeah.
Yeah, and along the shaft as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is a nice touch.
Yeah.
That's really a nice contrast.
Yeah, it makes a nice nice image.
Yep.
Very cool. What did he shoot it with? Doesn't say. I don't see what the exit is on this. But yeah, that's a neat detail shot. If you didn't know what it was, you'd be wondering. You'd be like, well, what is that? Figure out it'd be some kind of fan, but you couldn't. I don't think people would guess it would be a jet engine, but it'd be a little bit of a challenge. Nice abstract shot. Here's my classic car image for the week. This was at the local car show here in our town back in May, and I just like what drew me to this was the colors initially, and then people commented on Google Plus that they really like the difference in the grills.
Mm-hmm.
You got this old Mercury, classic Mercury, probably late 40s Mercury. I think this is a Ford, and that might be a Ford too, but just the different colors or different styles of the front ends of the car. And I was just like, wow, look at that cool red and orange and then that turquoise in the middle. That's what kind of drew me.
Yeah, great color.
Yeah, lots of color. There are a lot of people at this show, so it was a real challenge to find images without people. And I waited here for a while before I got this shot. I just kind of parked myself there with the camera, and people finally got the hint that maybe I was actually trying to take a photo of the cars without people in the image. So, yeah, it came out pretty good. I bumped up the vibrance and the contrast and saturation just a little bit on this, and cropped a little bit on this side. Yeah, just cropped in a little bit on the far right. There was a person's arm over here. I didn't see it in the viewfinder. The viewfinder does, I think my camera does like 96%, so they were in the 4% that I couldn't see.
Yeah.
So.
Having 100% viewfinder does make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Does make a difference.
Yeah.
I mean, especially you pay a lot of money for those pixels, or if this was film, you could be paying a lot of money for your processing and everything else, and just to have that little bit of of an arm popping in is a bit annoying.
Yeah, and it was. I mean, it didn't totally. I mean, all that I would have got was the arm was like right in this area, right where the windshield is cut off. So I would have got the rest of the curve of the windshield on that, and maybe a little bit of the mirror, if that. But now I've gotten. Most of the time I get in the habit, especially if I'm around people, before I take the shot, I take my eye away from the viewfinder just to see if there's anybody nearby. But every once in a while I get caught if there's so many people. It's just, people just wander around and they have no idea that you're trying to get an image without people in it. They just, people don't care. And
so
they don't know.
Police
they just don't know.
do not cross.
Yeah, police tape. We run up with some police tape. Crime scene, do not cross.
Do not cross, yeah.
But,
or you can use that stack and masking thing in Photoshop.
Oh, okay. Yep.
You take two exposures, one with the arm and another with the arm in another place, and you can overlap the two.
Overlap the two, yeah. Yeah, I read about that last week. I haven't used it yet. I've got Photoshop is so much stuff to learn. Yeah.
There's one thing that it has where it will automatically find the unique items, and let's say you have a photo of a building, and there was a car, and the car pulled out, and then there was another car, but not in the same spot. So now what it would do is, if you had people walking in, but at no time were there no people, what it would do is it would find all those unique spots from each individual image and clone them out using information that's common among of the other images. So it automatically gets rid of the cars, it automatically gets rid of the people without having to do any cloning.
Yeah.
It's an automated script.
What is that called? Do you guys know? Be interested. Just
something statistics. It's a really obscure and, quite frankly, a stupid name for it. It's something only an engineer would come up with.
Yeah.
But I think it's in Automate. I'm firing up CS6 right now.
Yeah, it's one of those things. They're like, okay, we got to have one more feature. Bob, you haven't submitted a feature in a while. Come up with something. It's like, oh, gotta code another feature in Photoshop. What am I gonna do?
Yeah.
You just see all those programmers trying to come up with all the different because it's just amazing. It's like going down a rabbit hole. You go into Photoshop. I mean, there's just so many different ways of doing even simple stuff. There's multiple ways of doing just really basic stuff, and it's not named and it's not really intuitive as far as the names, or it's not where you would think it would be. Being somebody that's new to the software, you just have no idea.
Yeah, I couldn't find it where it's at, but yeah, if I can find it the next time, I'll bring it up.
Okay, yeah, that'd be good.
Sure. But I guess it's the new Samsung S5, I guess, that has that feature also. I'm not sure, just heard someone talk about it.
Oh, okay, so it'll do it in camera then?
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, nice.
I wonder if it would do it to just raw images. Probably would. Probably
I
would.
doubt it.
I have no idea.
That processing is always done as a JPEG.
Yeah. That would
It's
be
not the end of the world. I mean, if you get your exposure right, your contrast range is fine. Even that's JPEGs are fine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You do lose a little flexibility, but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's better than. I guess it would be the lesser of two evils, maybe.
Right. Well, using the right tool for the right situation. That's all.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. That would make some sense. Okay, so here is the Portugal version of the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yep. I don't know which one is older.
This one's probably a little older. Yeah.
I don't know. So this is Lisbon, viewed from the south side to the north side.
Okay. All right. So this is that same river that was in your other images?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Very
I like how you captured the dolphins coming out.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Great timing.
Oh, down here? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, at the bottom of the bridge support.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, you got them on the other one too. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. I gotta look at that. Oh, okay. Yep. Painted on there. Very good. Everybody gets them. They want to make everybody feels like a winner when they take that shot. But yeah, you got a nice shadow of the bridge in there, and the blue is just fantastic. It's just a great.
Yeah, I had to pump it up a little bit in Lightroom, but nothing special.
Okay. Didn't have to go too much.
Yeah, it didn't do too much. But the red also.
Okay.
Gives it a little blend, I guess.
You can see this is downtown back here, the skyline of downtown, way in the back left.
That's what's it called?
That's not it. That's it right there. Oh.
That's another part of town, Belém, I guess.
All right. Okay.
At the right part of the image, you can see an antenna. At
this one over here. Yeah.
Yeah, right there. And a little to the left, there's an abandoned building with an awesome 360-degree view.
Okay.
I gotta get there sometime.
Okay, so yeah, it is up on a little hill, so you'd be able to see all the way around. Huh?
Yeah.
You need to do a panorama then.
Mm-hmm.
Get up there and.
Yeah, but first I have to clean up my hard drive.
Okay.
Don't have the space to do a panoramic.
That would be that's panorama files are huge.
Yeah.
Stitching stuff together, you end up very easily with probably multiple, maybe not multiple gigabyte, but pretty good size files.
Yeah, very big file.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which I don't have at this point.
Yeah. Time to go through and clean out all the crap on the hard drive, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my external hard drive failed on me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you have it backed up? Hopefully.
That was the backup. So.
Oh, okay. Now you need another backup.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's backup strategies can be a challenge if your backup fails, and you hope you have it somewhere else too.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. I've gotten to the point. I use CrashPlan for cloud backup, and took a long time to get everything backed up initially, but now it catches up with things pretty easy. And then I have an internal backup, and then I have an external drive that I back up to once a week that I swap out. So I take it to work with me, like on Monday morning, bring back the other drive, just swap and just keep that drive, in my desk drawer at work. So I do that on Sunday nights, and it works out.
So that's a direct copy of everything that you have on your hard drive.
All the important stuff I want. Yeah, the personal files, and then images and music. Everything else, apps, software, I can get that stuff again if something happens. It's the data that you get into trouble with. So.
Mm-hmm.
And,
yeah, I'm pretty much the same way. I have a hard drive for my operating system and programs. I've got another hard drive internal for songs and photos, and then I have a third internal hard drive for backup.
Mm-hmm.
So if something happens to Windows or something, and I need to just wipe off the drive, I can do that without having to use anything.
Yeah.
Now I went that way instead of having an external drive, and yeah, I know. As far as better, best practices, it's not the way to go. You want it external so you can take it with you and get it off site. But it was a lot faster. It's going with the internal drive as opposed to an old. I only have a USB 2 on my computer, so transfer speed's a lot faster internal when you're using the internal serial ATA versus the external USB.
Oh yeah.
So that's the only reason why I went that way.
Yeah, that makes sense. But if you've got the, do you use any cloud backup service like Crashplan or Carbonite or anything? Okay.
No, I didn't want to do it because it just takes forever to get everything up there.
Yeah.
And if you do have a crash, it'll take forever to get it back down again.
Yeah. It took me. I've been using it for a couple of years, and the initial upload basically took a month. When it would run faster when I wasn't using the computer, which was 20 hours out of the day on a typical work week, and then slower when I was using it. It took a little over a month, but now it any changes it does in a matter of minutes. But that initial upload took a long time. It really took a long time.
Yeah, at my job, we have a server that holds a bunch of photos because we're constantly adding photos for all the different jobs that we're doing every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we had something 30 or 40 gigs of more than that, 350 to 400 gigs of photos. And we calculated based on the time it would take, the surcharges that AT&T would charge us for going beyond our allotment for the month.
Oh.
We could actually. It would be cheaper if we just bought a couple of $100 external drives and just kept them off site that way. Because it didn't make any sense. The surcharges alone were a few $100.
Oh yeah, that gets a little pricey.
Yeah.
Luckily I didn't run into any data limits with I use Comcast for internet, and then Crashplan I think is like $6 a month, supposedly unlimited, and I've got about 450. I've got almost half a terabyte up there now.
Wow.
Yeah. When I started, it was about 250 gig, but that was 2.5 years ago, and that initial 250 gig took basically a month, like I said, and then now, it'll update overnight when I'm not using it, but that initial one took a long time. It's got all my music, all my photos. I mean, that's 95% of it, and then the other stuff is just financial documents and that type of stuff.
Sure.
But it takes a long time. But now I have it in 3 different places, which is, if I keep up with the process of switching out the external drive, it works. If not, then at least I have the cloud backup plus the one external drive here, in addition to my internal drive. So, haven't had any issues yet, but you will. It's just a matter of when, as Rui found out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hopefully we can get everything recovered and back up. The good thing is the new hard drive doesn't cost very much anymore. You can get a 3 terabyte hard drive for really inexpensive, comparatively. Here's my black and white image of the week. This one is just across the river. This is if any of you have ever watched Pittsburgh Pirates home games when they're at home, this is Pittsburgh PNC Park is just to the right, about 100 yards or so down the right side on the same side of the river as I'm on now. So I'm on the north side of the Allegheny River, looking towards the downtown area.
Mm-hmm.
And this is it used to be they changed all the bridges to like real names. This used to be like this, I forget what street it was, 8th Street Bridge, but now it's the Andy Warhol Bridge. So he was from Pittsburgh, I think. Yeah, I think he was. So it's the Andy Warhol Bridge. Here, this is what used to be called the Steel Building. Now it's UPMC Tower. Back when U.S. Steel owned it, that was the Steel Building. A couple other buildings. But yeah, it was early, 8 o'clock in the morning, and the river was still pretty calm. It was a cloudy day. A little drizzle kind of off and on. And I noticed the goose coming across the frame, so I just waited for him to get partway across and then took the shot. So,
It's very nice.
Yeah, I love the symmetry between the two. I just kind of wish the bottom of the frame showed the top of the buildings.
Yeah. The problem was that the bottom of the frame, there was a little dock area, like a little.
I figured as much.
That was sticking out, and it was like a half moon shaped thing. It was kind of rounded off, and I couldn't go any farther forward. And I couldn't go any farther, and backward wouldn't do anything either. And it's a fixed focal length, so I just get what I get. Yes, it's a challenge. The only thing I wish I would have done, and I didn't really notice it, if I would have just moved it, panned the camera just a little bit more to the right, and I would have got more of this building here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I could have reduced the amount of sky between, the golf building, and used Gulf Oil. This used to be their corporate headquarters. But reduced the amount of sky there, and then got more of this building. But that'd be about it. And there was a ton of dust on this one. I don't know how it got so dusty, but I spent a lot of time cloning out dust spots. I thought I was really careful with that roll, but some rolls get a ton of dust and some don't. It just depends, I guess, probably whether the air conditioning's going that day or not. I don't know. Just how active the air is in the bathroom when it's drying, I guess, is the determining factor. But I've got a few more images from this roll that came out okay. I've got to get to it here this week and see if there's a couple more good ones. But it's kind of the classic 12 exposures, get 3 or 4 that are good. The other 8, well, nice try. So, and looks like the puppy, huh, Rui?
Yeah.
Okay. What's Charlie?
Charlie going for a walk.
Yep. Okay. Dog's eye view. That's about perspective.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah, I just put my hand down with the lens towards him. Lined it up as much as possible, free-handed, and took the shot. So.
Came out pretty good.
Yeah.
You got pretty good focus on his face there, and nice little slight blurring from him walking, and pretty good.
Good expression.
Yeah. He's very interested in what's going on. He's very involved in his walk.
I like how you captured a little bit of a catchlight with the eye.
Right here. Yeah.
It makes the eye look alive instead of
the
dark
black hole. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's lots of it. It's very expressive.
Yep.
So
how old is Charlie? Still a puppy?
Year and a half.
Okay. All right.
Year and 9 months.
Okay. All right. Still looks
almost 2 years.
Looks like a
looks
like a puppy.
Yeah, still looks like a puppy.
That's a neat shot. Nice perspective on that, because so many times people just take a picture, standing up, pointing down at the dog. So this is a nice perspective. It's nice. You weren't stopped and posed. He was actually walking as you did it, which is which is nice. So, yeah, it's a great, nice, nice shot. Is that the last one? Yeah. Oh, oh, here's Frank. Sandstone Sisters. Julia Pfeiffer Beach. Very nice.
Yeah.
645D. Okay. When did you? Took this about 1.5 years ago, huh? Almost 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's been a while. I need to get back there.
Yeah, that was beautiful. We were there 4 years ago, fall October of 2000, about this time, yeah, early October 2010. We were out there, and it was just very, very beautiful. I wish I could have spent just a whole week right on that little stretch. It's just very nice.
Love the pink.
Yeah. If you're gonna go out there, high tide. This is high tide.
Okay.
Or thereabouts, and during low tide, those rocks in the middle ground are completely exposed, and the overall look of the beach is not nearly as photogenic during low tide as it is in high tide.
Okay.
So high tide is definitely the time to go. I did make that mistake of actually going out there and not paying attention to the tide charts. Got there at low tide, and I was just really disappointed, and I actually didn't even take my camera out of the bag.
Yeah, you're like, oh, wrong tide.
Yeah. When you consider it's a 3-hour, 2.5-hour drive.
Yeah.
One way.
Yeah.
Well, you make the best of it.
Yeah.
It was a nice sunset that day, anyways.
Well, yeah. Well, this is great. You got a little bit of what was the F35? 20 seconds. Okay. F35. Yeah. So you get that nice pillowy, kind of cottony texture to the water.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I used I'm pretty sure I used a 10-stop future density filter on this one.
Okay. This was
just to get me down to 20 seconds.
Yeah. Very nice. Yeah. Great colors in the sky. Nice texture in there. The alternating between the oranges and the blues and the pinks.
Mm-hmm.
Nice reflection of it on the.
That was one of the things that kind of attracted me to the scene, was that you have this alternating warmth and cool tone. Even when you go from the beach to the water to the sky, you have the alternating warm tones. Even in the rocks, the foreground is warm, the middle ground is cool, the background is warm again. So it's just this play on warm and cool.
Yeah, you do have. Have you tried seeing what this looks like in black and white?
Yeah, I prefer it in color.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say just because of the colors here. Very nice, yeah. That's a beautiful, beautiful beach. You got it at the right time with the high tide.
Yeah, if you're anywhere near Big Sur in California, it's definitely the place to go. Oddly enough, when you do a search for Pfeiffer Beach on Flickr or 500px, it's basically 99% of the main rock that they have, and that rock has a tunnel going through it, a natural tunnel, where during summer solstice, the sun sets right in the middle of that opening. Okay. And so you have all these God rays coming out, being along with the water spray, and the water droplets actually, if the sun's right, can be illuminated. So if you're using a long enough shutter speed, as the water splashes, it looks like sparks coming off a grinder.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so they'll be heavily illuminated in red or orange from the sun, but they'll be coming off. It'll look like fireworks.
Okay.
It's
awesome.
It's pretty impressive. But most of the time, those are the kind of photos you see of that one particular rock, and I don't know. I think a lot of people go there with blinders on. I'm going to go to Pfeiffer Beach and I'm going to photograph the shaft in the sun, and then that's all they do. They don't look around, and there's a lot of good places on that beach other than that one spot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would agree. I need to get back out there because when we were there last, I was kind of into photography, but not from um, not the way I am now. I was
Mm-hmm.
thinking about taking better pictures, but I wasn't really as really detailed into it as I am now, and I just need to get back out there with a good camera at the right time. And
The right time is key. It's
and that's a challenge. I
yeah.
mean, when you travel as far as you have to travel, to go from here to there, I was like, okay, you got to keep your fingers crossed and hope that you find something that works.
Well,
If not, then
what I
scenery, I guess.
what I've been trying to do is using webcams. There's a few of them. There's one in Half Moon Bay, for example, off of a restaurant, Sam's Chowder House, out in Half Moon Bay. They have a webcam, so I can actually see what the weather is in real time before I even bother going out there. Because with the Bay Area, we have a lot of microclimates.
Mm-hmm.
It could be 100 degrees 20 miles from here, while over here it's partly cloudy and at 70.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's a lot of microclimates up here. So being able to see what the weather's like on the other side of the bay is a real help.
Yeah, it definitely is.
I knew of an app that I don't know if it was a Google Chrome app or iPhone app, but based on the map, you could select a position and then select another one, which was the first would be your position, where you take the shot, and the next would be what you were aiming at, and choose the different kind of different time of day, and it would tell you where the sun would be, what the tide was, and the forecast and all that information.
Yeah. I've
Photographers Emeritus, I think. Or
yeah.
Ephemeris.
Yeah. Yep. That's the one I found. Well, is this what you're talking about, Frank? This was my in October 2010. We were there. I think it looks like the tide was coming in. I think.
Yeah, for that particular shot, yeah, a low tide actually would be, or a medium tide would be optimal, because then you get as you can see here, all this area is just covered up with water.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just loaded up with bowling ball sized rocks right in front of there, which add quite a lot of character.
Yeah, we were there. I don't know what time. This was later in the afternoon, so I don't know, whatever it was. It was like October 9th or 10th, 2010. But yeah, we were there, and it was kind of one of those. We spent about half an hour wandering around the beach, and it was kind of cold and rainy, a little drizzly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my take on Pfeiffer Beach. Not quite as dramatic as yours, Frank, but
I just got lucky with the light.
Well, you got a really good camera too. I mean, that makes a big difference too. Got a good camera, got good light, and yeah, that's a great image. Great image to end things on. But,
yep.
Get out there in the next couple of years. I really miss going out to Northern California. That's a fun spot.
Yep.
Very fun spot. Okay, well, cool. That was a good one. A little after 7 here. Let's think about, you guys maybe come up with some ideas if you want to do something for themes.
Sure.
I'll see if I can get the Google Drive folder, and then once we get it working properly, then I'll just go ahead and talk about it here and give a link or whatever, so we can share it with whoever wants to, and then we can try that a little bit and do it. Help me with my image, pimp my image, whatever we want to call it, and do it that way. I think that'd be great. Add a couple new segments to the show, and give some opportunity to a little bit more direct feedback via taking some images and playing around with it a little bit. And once I get my mad Photoshop skills going here in the next, by tomorrow, I'll be great.
Sure, it's going to take you that long just to get all those skills all
I probably get it by 10 o'clock tonight if I work at it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I mean, come on.
Yeah, come on. There is. I think, unfortunately, it's just going to take. I'll find how to do the 4 or 5 things that I would do 90% of the time, and then the other stuff will just have to come to me as I use it, and that's going to take a long time.
I once had a buddy of mine. He called me up and he says, "Hey, what are you doing for the next 6 months?" And I said, "What do you got going on?" Actually, I think he said 6 weeks, and it ended up being something like 2.5 years. But he got hired as a photographer for an internet company that was selling promotional items, and he needed somebody to strip the images out from the background, put a white background in there, and then throw the image back in just to strip out the background.
Okay.
And I had no idea what I was doing. I had Photoshop 4 at the time. Okay, so it tells you this was back in '99, and then I think even then, at that time the latest version was 5.5, and so I was really slow and I was bad, but I was getting the job done. But it was just taking a long time. But when I'd come home, I'd look at a book called the Photoshop Bible.
Mm-hmm.
I did the tutorials, and that really helped. That really, really helped, especially when I got to the chapter when they talked about the pen tool. That was that really, really helped, because that was what I needed to know, the pen tool. Before I was using the lasso or the eraser tool, and that just was just a time killer. But so maybe that's something you want to look into, the Photoshop Bibles, if they're still making them.
Yeah, I got a book last week, the Missing Photoshop CC, the Missing Manual, kind of the same thing. It's 850 pages, detail on everything, and it's pretty well indexed, and big table of contents, so you can find just about any particular. I think it covers pretty much everything in there. It's a massive book, but it's well written. It's got a lot of images, and go here to find this, and try this way and that way, and it seems it's just going to be a reference. It's going to be a kind of a desktop reference to it, and then there's a couple books out that are talking about specifically using the Adobe Creative Cloud for photographers. So it talks about integrating Lightroom and Photoshop, how to switch back and forth between the two, when to use one over the other in general situations, and so I'm gonna try one of those books too, just to see, and I'll probably do a review or something on the blog about it once I get a chance to go through. But there's starting to be some more resources come out that are talking specifically about the kind of the Creative Cloud for photographers setup, which is, for your $9.99 a month, you get Photoshop and Lightroom. Mm-hmm. And so there's some books coming out that talk about integrating those two and using them together, kind of get the most out of each one. So that's what I'm going to do in the fall. I mean, that's kind of my goal here is, once daylight saving goes away here in a month or so, I won't have anything to do when I get home in the evening. It'll be dark, so I won't feel bad about sitting in front of the computer or reading a little bit and doing that. It's really tough for me to do that in the summer because it's so nice outside.
Yeah.
Get out and do stuff. Winter,
October to April. Really nice.
Yeah, October to April is the kind of when I really kind of geek out on the software side of things, and then hope I remember enough of it over the summer to use. So it's going to be the challenge. Okay, guys. Thanks.
Sure.
Number 70. Next week will be 75, so we'll have to figure out when the 100th show is, and we'll have to come up with some kind of monumental contest or giveaway or something for show 100, which will probably be right after. Maybe that'll be in January, something like that. Yeah, January, February. So, but good show, guys. Thanks for staying up late, Rui. Have a good week.
No problem. Yeah,
Thanks
you too.
for coming early, Frank. Since it's only 4 o'clock in the afternoon there, so.
Yeah. I'm gonna go watch some football.
All right, yeah, that's Sunday Night Football starts here in about an hour. I'm gonna make some dinner and watch some football too. So, all right, guys, good show.
Yeah,
We
good
will
one.
see you next week. Come up with a
Yeah.
couple ideas, and we'll go through and come up with a theme for October, a theme or two for October.
Yep.
All right,
We'll
cool.
do.
Sure.
See you guys.
All right.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye, Mike.